In the heart of Southeast Asia, surrounded by majestic mountains and the impressive South China Sea, lies Vietnam, the most exotic country in Asia and one of the most beautiful and mysterious on the planet. A country where almost half of the population has the same surname due to a mystery that has to do with one of its most legendary dynasties. A region with ethnic groups in which women are the ones who propose marriage to men, others in which there are still traditions such as the bride tour, where men go in search of women, and ethnic groups that even maintain rituals such as the bride kidnapping, as you will soon know. One of the most beautiful places in the world, as you will now see, both for its landscapes and its legend. With corners like the majestic Ha Long Bay, where thousands of limestone islands emerge from an emerald sea, with legends that make its inhabitants believe that they were created by dragons, or ancient cities like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh shrouded in mystery. A region with unique curiosities, such as having cities with more motorcycles than inhabitants, or being able to enjoy the cheapest beer in the world. A legendary country that contains subway cities, which has the largest glass floor bridge in the world, not suitable for people with vertigo, and is also one of the most biodiverse regions of the planet, with the largest cave in the world known as Doong, a cavity so huge that has its own ecosystem and climate, rivers, and even a jungle inside. Pay attention and do not miss this new video of Uncensored World. Soon you will travel with us through Vietnam, which is probably one of the most beautiful and mysterious places on the planet. Let's get started. Surely there are few places as beautiful, mysterious, and authentic as Vietnam, a country where, as you will see, its cities are formed by streets that look like labyrinths, with ancient stories to discover behind every corner, and where the exotic aroma of spices floats in the air, together with a melody of horns and people that fill it with life. Vietnam is a country located in Southeast Asia, bordered by the South China Sea to the east and bounded by China to the north, Laos to the northwest, and Cambodia to the southwest. With a population of approximately 90 million inhabitants, Vietnam is characterized by its dense population, which reaches about 395 inhabitants per square kilometer. Its size is approximately 330,000 square kilometers, a size similar to that of Finland in Europe, making it a relatively small country compared to its neighbors. Since its formation as a nation, Vietnam has become a fascinating country, full of mysteries that has captured the imagination of adventurers and travelers from all over the world for centuries. Historically, the territory of Vietnam has been inhabited for more than 30,000 years and has witnessed diverse social and political dynamics. Over the centuries, Vietnam has faced invasions and colonizations, from the Chinese to the French, which have contributed to its rich and complex history. The name Vietnam has its roots in the word Viet, which refers to an ethnic group that has inhabited the region since ancient times, coupled with the term Nam, meaning south, so Vietnam translates as the South Viet. This designation highlights the country's geographical location and its connection to the Viet culture. Considering the distinction in its name and the near past of this incredible country, it is interesting to know, albeit lightly, the war history of Vietnam, as it has much to do with its present day. The Vietnam War took place between 1955 and 1975, and had profound repercussions both in the history of Vietnam and the rest of the world. This conflict pitted the North Vietnamese regime, backed by powers such as the Soviet Union and China, against the South Vietnamese government, supported mainly by the United States and other Western allies. The origin of this division can be traced back to the Indochina War, which resulted in the separation of Vietnam into two: the North, aligned with communist-type ideologies, and the South, which followed a more capitalist orientation. The war was devastating and left an indelible mark on Vietnamese society, with millions of lives lost and a ravaged landscape. As the conflict intensified, the resistance of the Viet Cong guerrillas, operating mainly in the south, became a significant challenge to U.S. forces, unfortunately filling both this country and neighbors, such as Cambodia, with tragedies and landmines. This struggle was not only military but also ideological, representing a battle between two visions of the future for Vietnam. In the end, in the year 1975, the North triumphed, unifying the country under an anti-capitalist regime and marking the end of the Vietnam War. A reality that, despite its closeness and tragedy, has not diminished the character and resilience of Vietnamese culture. A surprising fact is that the Vietnamese people show a remarkable spirit of hospitality towards Westerners, which is unusual considering their recent past. In this country so full of cultural and surprising curiosities, one of the most striking aspects is the phenomenon of the surname Nguen. This surname, which has become synonymous with Vietnam around the world, is so common that it is estimated that about 40% of the Vietnamese population carries it, making it undoubtedly the most frequent surname in Vietnam. But why are there so many Vietnamese with this same surname? The answer has to do with the history of this country, and more specifically, with its last imperial dynasty, the Nguen dynasty. When this dynasty was consolidated in the 19th century, many people adopted the surname as a way of expressing their loyalty and support for the new regime. This change spread throughout the country, and over time the surname became a symbol of national identity, making it so that, although not all those who bear it are related, they share a common thread in their history. As you will see if you are lucky enough to discover this beautiful country, as you walk the vibrant streets of cities like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh, it is not uncommon to come across a multitude of Nguen, a very surprising curiosity that you now know. To make this video more fascinating, we will explore the most beautiful places in Vietnam, which, as you will see, are among the most beautiful in the world, while discovering its most striking curiosities. According to Vietnamese mythology, Vietnam was founded by a dragon king named Lac Long Quan and an earthen woman called U Co. It is said that from their union the first Vietnamese were born, thus establishing a bond between people and nature. This story reflects both the importance of myths in Vietnamese culture and the spiritual connection the Vietnamese feel toward their natural environment. One of the clearest manifestations of this connection between mythology and nature is the impressive Ha Long Bay, one of the most beautiful corners of the planet, declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. This place, located in the northeast of Vietnam, is situated approximately 170 kilometers east of Hanoi, the capital of the country that you will meet later. Ha Long Bay is known for its unique rock formations and limestone islands emerging from the water. Many local legends suggest that these formations were created by dragons that descended from the sky. And some Vietnamese believe that these islands are actually dragons that have been transformed into stone, reflecting the rich mythology surrounding the region that many locals still believe in. Ha Long Bay, with its surreal landscape and natural beauty, is a place that attracts millions of tourists each year. The emerald waters and majestic rock formations create a magical atmosphere that, for many, is a tangible reminder of the legends that have been passed down in Vietnam over the centuries. As travelers discover this bay, they can experience not only its visual beauty, but also the sense of connection the Vietnamese have with their history and mythology. As you will see, Vietnam, with its rich history, mythology, and breathtaking natural beauty, is one of the best countries to enjoy adventure and a deeper connection to the world around them. One of the best ways to enjoy this adventure and magic is to discover the mysterious floating villages that inhabit this dreamlike environment. These villages, which have existed for generations, are made up of fishing communities that have adapted their way of life to the characteristics of the marine landscape. The floating houses, built on bamboo and wooden platforms, are kept afloat by barrels and are a living testimony to the adaptive ways of these societies. In these stilt houses, residents fish, cultivate pearls, and live in harmony with nature, creating a vibrant and unique community that attracts the curiosity of visitors. One of the best ways to reach this bay and its floating villages is from the beautiful nearby island of Cat Ba. Cat Ba is a hidden gem that complements the magic of the bay with stunning mountain scenery, white sandy beaches, and lush rainforests. From the island, Travelers can embark on boat excursions that will take them to explore the floating villages, where they can experience the local culture up close. The turquoise waters surrounding Cat Ba are ideal for activities such as kayaking and swimming, making the island a perfect destination for nature lovers. One of the most intriguing attractions near Cat Ba is Monkey Island, a destination that fascinates both for its natural beauty and the uniqueness of its people. This island, named after the community of monkeys of the Macaca mulatta species, is a refuge for these animals, which are the only inhabitants of the place. The monkeys, known for their curiosity and mischief, roam freely around the island, offering visitors the opportunity to observe their behavior in a natural environment. Very close to Cat Ba Island lives one of the most fascinating ethnic groups in Vietnam, the Muong. This ethnic group, which mainly settles in the mountainous region of Hoi An, is noted for its intriguing traditions. One of the most controversial is the bride kidnapping, a custom that may seem surprising from an outsider's perspective, but is imbued with deep cultural significance. In this ritual, a man may steal the woman he loves, but it is essential to mention that this action is performed with the woman's consent. This practice is seen by this ethnic group as a way of expressing love and commitment. Once the woman has been kidnapped, the couple meets with the man's family to discuss the marriage. This allows the woman to have a voice in choosing her future and reflects the flexibility of traditions in this community. The Muong are located near one of the most impressive natural wonders of Vietnam and also of the world, the Jewel of Ninh Binh. This region, known for its spectacular landscape of karst formations and meandering rivers, is a popular tourist destination that attracts visitors from around the world each year. The Muong's proximity to this breathtaking environment not only offers them a beautiful natural setting, but also enriches their cultural and spiritual life, creating a unique symbiosis between the community and its landscape. Ninh Binh, often referred to as the Ha Long Bay on land, is one of the most stunning destinations in Vietnam, noted for its breathtaking scenery and rich history. This region is famous for its limestone rock formations, which emerge majestically from the landscape, creating a truly spectacular natural environment. The calm waters of the rivers, surrounded by rice paddies and mountains, make Ninh Binh a perfect place to explore by boat, especially in the Tam Coc area, where visitors can enjoy a paddle boat ride while taking in the breathtaking views. Ninh Binh was the capital of the country during the 10th century, under the rule of the Dinh dynasty. In the town of Hoa Lu, you can find ancient temples dedicated to the Dinh and Le kings. Ninh Binh is also home to Trang An Cave, which is part of a natural landscape complex declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Here, visitors can explore a labyrinth of caves and subway passages, offering a unique and mystical experience in the midst of nature. Boat excursions through this cave system are one of the most fascinating activities for those seeking to delve into the natural beauty of the region. But thinking of natural wonders, it is impossible not to mention Son Doong, the largest cave in the world. Located in the heart of the stunning Quang Binh region in Phong Nha Ke Bang National Park, Son Doong Cave is a masterpiece of nature. This impressive subway formation has become one of the most fascinating places for adventurers and explorers since its discovery in 2009. Son Doong stretches for more than 5 kilometers in length, with a height of up to 200 meters and a width of up to 100 meters, making it a space so vast that it could house a multi-story skyscraper inside. To put these dimensions in perspective, Son Doong is so large that its massive main hall could accommodate the space of a medium-sized airport, making it a truly impressive place. The cave is so well formed that it even has its own ecosystem, with rivers flowing through it and areas of jungle that are home to unique flora and fauna. This microclimate allows for the existence of species found nowhere else on the planet, making Son Doong a living laboratory of biodiversity. One of the most amazing facts about Son Doong is that, inside the cave, stalactite and stalagmite formations have been found that are as old as 2 million years, providing a unique connection to the Earth's geological past. In addition, inside the cave there is an area that has been dubbed the jungle in the cave, where trees up to 100 feet tall can be found, growing in an environment completely isolated from sunlight. However, accessing Doong is neither simple nor cheap. Due to its delicate ecology and the need to preserve its natural beauty, only a limited number of visitors can explore the cave each year, and at a cost of over $2,000 per person. These expeditions are organized by a local tour company, and groups must be guided by experts. Reservations fill up quickly, and the journey through this incredibly remote cave requires considerable physical and logistical preparation. Those lucky enough to explore this gigantic monumental cave will encounter not only a visual spectacle, but a testament to the power of nature and its ability to create wonders. 120 kilometers south of this monumental cave lies Hue, one of Vietnam's most beautiful and fascinating cities. Formerly the imperial capital of the country during the Nguen dynasty, from the early 19th century until 1945, its rich history is reflected in the architecture, temples, and traditions that endure in the city. As you will see, Hue is not only a historical treasure, but also a place where legends intertwine with everyday life, offering visitors a unique experience. Among the wonders Hue has to offer is the Hue Citadel, a huge fortified complex that houses the Imperial Palace, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This impressive site is surrounded by a moat and a wall, and inside you can find gardens, temples, and the ancient throne room, which still retain the splendor of bygone eras. The beauty of the citadel is complemented by the rich culture of Hue, where the traditions of opera, music, and dance are kept alive, allowing visitors to immerse themselves in Vietnam's history. Not far from Hue, near Da Nang, is the famous Bridge of Hands or Golden Bridge or Ba Na Hills, one of the most spectacular and famous bridges in the world. This bridge, supported by giant stone hands, has become an icon of modern architecture in Vietnam. With a length of 150 meters and at a height of 1,400 meters above sea level, the bridge offers breathtaking views of the surrounding mountains and valleys, making it a perfect place for photographs. Ba Na Hills is not only famous for the Bridge of Hands, but also for its theme park and cool, pleasant climate, which attracts visitors looking to escape the heat of nearby cities. With a mix of nature, history, and fun, this place is an ideal destination to enjoy a day full of adventures. The bridge's proximity to Hue makes it easy for travelers to combine the city's rich history with the modernity and natural beauty of Ba Na Hills. But surely the most curious bridge in Vietnam right now is the bridge known as the White Dragon, famous for being the largest glass floor bridge in the world, an architectural marvel that defies gravity and offers breathtaking views, although it is not suitable for people with vertigo or heart problems. With a length of 632 meters and built at a height of approximately 150 meters above the jungle, the world's longest glass bridge has been opened to the public in the northwestern province of Son La and has been baptized with the name Bac Long, which translates as White Dragon. This extensive footbridge connects two separate mountains and is part of the Moc Chau Island Resort, about 200 kilometers from Hanoi. Walking across this bridge, the feeling of vertigo can be overwhelming. The glass floor allows a clear and direct view of the precipice below, creating an experience both thrilling and unsettling. For those who suffer from a fear of heights, crossing this bridge may not be the best option. However, for adventure lovers, the bridge offers a unique opportunity to feel the adrenaline rush while gazing at dreamlike landscapes. The White Dragon is an impressive work of engineering whose floor has been built with 3 layers of tempered glass, 40 millimeters thick, made in France. Moreover, according to experts, it can support the weight of at least 450 people walking on it at the same time. We hope that the day will never come when there will be more of these people on the bridge. At this point, we take the opportunity to ask you, would you dare to walk on this glass bridge? What is it that impresses you most about Vietnam? Pause the video and leave us your comment. We will love to read you and know that doing so is the best way you have to support Uncensored World. so that we continue working every week to bring you interesting content like this, so thank you. Going back to the beauty of this enigmatic country, it is good to discover one of its most legendary cities called Hoi An, a place where history and culture are intertwined in every corner. Declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Hoi An is famous for its exceptionally well-preserved old town, where architectural influences from different cultures, Chinese, Japanese, and French, blend harmoniously. Its cobblestone streets filled with colorful old buildings, handicraft stores, and cozy cafes offer a journey into the past that leaves visitors fascinated. One of Hoi An's highlights is its vibrant lantern festival, held every month on the night of the full moon. During this event, the city is illuminated with thousands of paper lanterns hanging from houses and floating in the canals. The atmosphere is magical, and locals and tourists participate in rituals that include making lanterns and making wishes. The Lantern Festival is not only a visual spectacle, it also has deep spiritual significance. Locals believe that lighting a lantern and letting it float on the water brings good luck and drives away negativity. Luck, that is what those belonging to the Muong tribe you knew before wish for, especially when they perform the amazing ritual known as Dulich Ko Dau, which translates as bridal tours. This tradition, although less common than in the past, offers men the opportunity to participate in organized events to meet women from other communities, especially in areas where the population is sparse and options for finding a mate are limited. During these events, men and women from different villages gather in a festive atmosphere where music, dance, and food are a fundamental part of the experience. The women are often dressed in colorful traditional costumes, which not only embellish the atmosphere, but also reflect their culture and heritage. This ritual is more than just a gathering. It becomes a celebration of the community, where participants can interact, get to know each other, and hopefully form a bond that can lead to marriage. Despite its appeal, the practice of bridal tours is in decline, as modern influences and migration to the cities have changed the social and mating dynamics in rural communities. However, there are still some villages where this tradition is kept alive, symbolizing the cultural richness and ancestral customs of the Muong people. Although times are changing, the desire to find a mate and start a family is still a fundamental value in Vietnamese culture. Thinking about Vietnam's culture, it is impossible to discover the country without exploring Hanoi, the capital, a city with a rich history and vibrant urban life. Hanoi has been a meeting point of civilizations and has seen the passage of many dynasties. Its narrow streets, filled with ancient temples and colonial architecture, tell stories of bygone eras and the resilience of its people. This city is a mosaic of traditions, where Chinese, French, and local influences intertwine, creating a unique atmosphere that invites exploration and discovery. Throughout the city, numerous posters and decorative murals remind us of the recent past and the struggles that have shaped the nation. These visual elements, mostly in vivid hues and with messages of unity and hope, create a palpable connection to communist wartime history. As you stroll through the streets, you can see slogans evoking the patriotism and strength of the Vietnamese people, as well as images honoring the heroes of the war. The combination of these posters, along with the architecture and public spaces, transforms Hanoi into a space where past and present coexist, offering tourists a unique glimpse into the city's rich history. This cityscape is not only a reminder of the past, but also a symbol of Vietnam's transformation and growth today. Thus, Hanoi presents itself as a place where the legacy of history is celebrated, while embracing a future full of opportunity and vibrant community life. Within Hanoi lies what is considered to be the oldest city in Asia, known as Co Loa. This ancient citadel stands proudly in Doong district, north of Hanoi. It was founded in the 3rd century BC and established as the capital of the ancient state of Olac, becoming an important political and cultural center of the time. The structure of Co Loa includes a system of fortifications surrounding a central area, where vestiges of palaces, temples, and dwellings are found. Through the traditions and legends surrounding Co Loa, one can appreciate the deep connection of the Vietnamese with their history and their land, enjoying and discovering one of the most enigmatic places in the world. Apart from this ancient citadel, life in Hanoi is a testament to Vietnam's cultural diversity. Its markets, squares, and alleys are a spectacle for the senses, where vendors offer everything from fresh herbs to colorful textiles. The city has a vibrant energy, which can be felt on every corner, where the aromas of local cuisine, such as the famous pho and delicious banh mi, mingle with the sounds of the daily bustle. As you walk through its streets, it is common to see groups of people sitting on small plastic chairs, enjoying life and sharing stories while savoring their food. In Hanoi, there is an air of community that is palpable in everyday life. With close to 100 million people nationwide, Vietnam is considered one of the places with the highest density of motorcycles per square kilometer, with around 40 million motorcycles on the road. This phenomenon is reflected in the busy streets of Hanoi, where the motorcycle traffic is a spectacle in itself, and crossing the street can seem like a terrifying feat. However, once you settle into the rhythm, the experience becomes an unforgettable part of your visit. Life in Vietnam is a spectacle of colors, aromas, and sounds that manifest themselves in every corner of the country. In Hanoi, the combination of bright lights, bustling markets, and a constant coming and going of people creates a unique atmosphere. A fascinating aspect of life in Hanoi is the custom of enjoying bia Hoi, the local beer considered the cheapest in the world. A fame that does not seem exaggerated if it is possible to enjoy a liter jug of this drink for between 20 to 50 cents. More than a drink, the bia Hoi has become a social institution where friends and families gather to share laughter and good times. Motorcycle culture in Vietnam is not only a distinctive feature of the urban landscape, but also an integral part of the lifestyle of its inhabitants. In Hanoi, there are many motorcycles, but in Ho Chi Minh City, there are so many that there are estimated to be more motorcycles than people. Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon, is the largest city in Vietnam and an important economic and cultural center of the country. One of the most mythical and striking markets in all of Vietnam is the Ben Thanh market, which is located in the heart of this great city. This market is much more than just a place to shop. It is a vibrant reflection of everyday Vietnamese life. Founded in the early 20th century, Ben Thanh has become a cultural symbol of the city and attracts both locals and tourists looking to experience the essence of Vietnamese commerce and life. From colorful textiles and traditional handicrafts to exotic spices and street food, this market is an explosion of colors, aromas, and flavors. It is also the perfect place to try some of the most authentic dishes of Vietnamese cuisine, such as pho or spring rolls. A place that at night transforms into a night market that vibrates with a special energy. The bright lights illuminate the stores, while the smells of grilled food fill the air, and the sounds, often from the most common means of transport in this country, flood an atmosphere in which modernity is mixed with the legend and the Vietnamese essence. In this city, motorcycles glide through the streets in a rhythmic dance that reflects the energy of the city and the uniqueness of this place on the planet. Life in Ho Chi Minh City revolves largely around these motorcycles, which are used for everything from daily transportation to commerce. The sidewalks are filled with colorful vehicles, and it is common to see hundreds of them waiting at any traffic light, where the constant sound of the engines creates a unique urban symphony. Here, motorcycles are more than a means of transportation. They are a way of life and a symbol of the economy in motion. On every corner, one can see locals going about their daily business, from taking children to school to selling street food, all while navigating the bustling traffic. Something that surprises especially tourists is to observe that many times on these motorcycles, there are more than 3 or even 4 people. This phenomenon not only defines the experience of living in Vietnam, but also provides a fascinating window into its culture and the way of life of its people. One of the most interesting and impressive places to visit in Ho Chi Minh City is the War Remnants Museum. This museum is a must for those interested in the history of Vietnam, especially the Vietnam War. It exhibits an impressive collection of photographs, documents, and artifacts that crudely narrate the experiences of the victims and the devastating effects of the conflict on the country. Outside the museum, visitors can find tanks, fighter planes, and helicopters used during the war, allowing for an even more immersive experience. While the exhibits may be loud, they provide an in-depth understanding of the magnitude of the events that scarred Vietnam. Near Ho Chi Minh City are the famous Co Chi tunnels, an extensive subway network of hundreds of kilometers. These tunnels formed an authentic subway city, with living areas, weapons stores, hospitals, kitchens, and even strategic meeting rooms. The system was initially built during the struggle against the French occupation, but was expanded and perfected during the Vietnam War by the Viet Cong, becoming a symbol of Vietnamese resistance. The Co Chi tunnels allowed Viet Cong fighters to hide from U.S. forces, who had overwhelming military superiority on the surface. In these tunnels, soldiers could move stealthily, surprise their enemies, and most importantly, stay safe. However, life in the subway labyrinth was far from easy, as these tunnels were narrow, dark, and poorly ventilated, and their occupants lived in extreme conditions, surrounded by damp, insects, and disease. Today, visitors can explore a small part of this vast tunnel system, although some sections have been expanded to make it easier for tourists to enter. As you are seeing, Vietnam is a country of contrasts, with such striking traditions as the Pu Nu Tim Jan, a practice whereby it is women who propose marriage to men, something uncommon in many cultures around the world. This custom occurs among the Ide ethnic group, who live primarily in the Central Highlands region. The Ide have a matrilineal social structure, which means that women are the ones who make decisions and exercise power, even having control over realities such as marriage. In the Eid culture, the marriage proposal is made by the woman, and it is her family that traditionally negotiates the terms of the marriage with the man's family. Furthermore, in Ida families, men often go to live with the wife's family after marriage, reinforcing the importance of female lineage and the power of women in this culture. Another fascinating and striking tradition in Vietnam is that of free love, known as Tien Yêu Tu Du, a practice found in some communities, such as the Ha Ni ethnic group, who mainly inhabit the mountainous areas in the northwestern part of the country, near the border with China. In these communities, young people enjoy greater freedom in their romantic relationships before establishing a formal commitment. This flexibility allows young people to get to know each other intimately before marriage, a form of interaction that contrasts with the stricter customs of other cultures. The ritual of free love offers young people the chance to spend time together in a space of intimacy, sometimes even sharing temporary housing. During these periods, young people have the opportunity to decide if they are compatible and if they wish to spend their lives together. This northern high mountain region contains another of Vietnam's most beautiful and striking places, called Sapa, famous for its stunning rice terraces and mountain scenery. The Sapa region is also home to the Muong ethnic group, a group famous for their traditions as well as their physical features, as they tend to be short in stature, making them easily recognizable. The Hmong and other ethnic groups in this mountainous region attract thousands of travelers every year, impressed by the natural beauty and rich traditions of their villages and places. Apart from these wonders and curiosities, it is good to know that if there is an unmistakable symbol of Vietnam, that is the non la, the traditional hat worn by a good part of its population. This simple but versatile accessory, handmade from palm leaves, has been part of Vietnamese culture for centuries. Beyond its aesthetic value, the non la serves a vital practical function for farmers and fishermen, protecting them from both the scorching sun and the torrential rains that often lash this country. The conical hat is not only a protective tool, but also a multifunctional object. It is used for everything from collecting water in rice paddies to transporting goods in markets. Even Vietnamese women use it as a makeshift basket to carry vegetables, cloth, or other light objects. This reality has a lot to do with Vietnam being one of the world's leading rice producers and exporters. That is why agriculture, especially the cultivation of this grain, is a fundamental part of its economy and culture. In this beautiful country, approximately 80% of the rural population is engaged in agriculture, with rice being its main source of income. This grain, which is the staple of the Vietnamese diet, grows in vast expanses of fields and wetlands, especially in the Mekong Delta and the Red River Delta. That's why Vietnam's landscape is dotted with stunning rice paddies that vary in color seasonally, offering views of vibrant green stretching to the horizon. To tour the country is to travel through these rice paddies and wetlands, which are not only a source of livelihood, but also one of Vietnam's main visual charms. Before we end our Vietnam trip, it would be good to understand whether it is easy to enjoy its wonders, and what are the prices and quality of life in this enigmatic corner of the world. Fortunately, traveling to Vietnam is relatively simple for most tourists. Depending on your nationality, you may need a tourist visa, although many countries are exempt for short periods of up to 15 or 30 days. For longer stays or multiple trips, you can obtain an electronic visa or apply for one at the Vietnamese embassy prior to your trip. The international airports of Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City are the main entry points, connecting Vietnam with the rest of the world. In terms of cost of living, Vietnam is one of the cheapest countries in Southeast Asia, and with that, also in the world. This means that, in addition to being a culturally fascinating destination, it is also fantastic for backpackers or travelers on a tight budget. Eating, staying, and getting around the country is incredibly affordable. A meal at a local restaurant can cost between $3 and $7, while at street stalls, where you can enjoy the famous Vietnamese street food, you can find delicious dishes for as little as $1. Accommodations are also very affordable, as a guest house or mid-range hotel can cost between $15 and $40 per night, depending on location and amenities. This low cost, coupled with the rich history, breathtaking natural scenery, and warm hospitality of its people, makes Vietnam a dream destination for travelers. Vietnam is also one of the safest countries in Asia, making it an ideal destination for travelers of all types, including those traveling alone. Taking everything you have seen and learned into account, whether you are looking for adventure, culture, or just relaxing on paradisiacal beaches, this country is one of the most vibrant jewels of Southeast Asia, a place that becomes an unforgettable experience for anyone who is lucky enough to discover it. From Uncensored World, we hope this video has helped you to discover Vietnam, as you have seen, one of the most fascinating jewels of the planet. If so, do not hesitate to leave us a nice like and a comment. It is the best way to help us to keep working every week to bring you interesting content like this. Or like this video that you can watch now to discover another of the most mysterious and beautiful places on the planet. Click on it. You will enjoy it.